Hello and welcome to the look ahead for Wednesday, the 19th of June, with me, Fiona Cincotta, Senior Market Analyst at City Index. So overnight, we'll be looking out for the meeting minutes from the Bank of Japan meeting. In the European session, we'll have UK inflation data. And then in the US markets are closed for the public holiday, but we also do have the Bank of Canada summary of deliberation. So just starting with UK inflation data. So expectations are that UK inflation will cool to 2%, down from 2.3% in April. That is 2%, which is the Bank of England's target for inflation. And it will be the lowest level that inflation has been since July 2021. Now, the data comes obviously a day ahead of the Bank of England meeting on Thursday. The central bank, I don't think, will announce a rate cut due to the blackout period owing to the elections. However, inflation at 2% will certainly pile the pressure on for the central bank to tee up and prepare a rate cut for the August meeting. Now, let's take a quick look at the pound and how that's been behaving. So if we have a look, pound has failed to push above that 128 level. Now, if we get in cooler than expected inflation or cooling inflation, then that could bring the pound lower against the dollar. Dollar's likely to have low volumes just because of that bank holiday trading. So right now, the pound US dollar is testing that 127 support, having fallen away from 128. If we do, get a break below that 127 level, and look out for the 100 SMA at 126.40, and then below that 126 will be the next level to keep in mind. Buyers, so if we get inflation that's actually hotter than expected, that could raise questions about the Bank of England's ability to cut interest rates in August, and that could see the pound push higher. On the upside, watch out for 128. That's the key level of resistance that the pound really does need to break through in order to create a higher high. Also, just whilst we're talking about the UK and UK inflation, this is the FTSE. Now, as we can see, the FTSE's been in a downtrend really since the start of May. It's fallen really away from that all-time high, but it seems to have found some support now at that 8,200 level. It's trading in a descending triangle, although the RSI is neutral. We're sort of seeing this consolidation impact sort of pattern around that 120 below the 8,200 level, and between 8150 to the 8,200. Sellers are going to look to want to take out 8150 and 81, which are those longer lower wicks of those candles that we can see just in recent days. Below that 8,000, it'll be the next level to be watching out for. If we find that support at 8,200 holds, that could be if we see a more dovish than expected, a cooler than expected inflation report. That could give the FTSE a boost. Watching out on the upside for a breakout above 8,200 to bring 83.50, the June high, into play. Just finally, also looking here at US dollar, Japanese yen. Now, as I said, US dollar is going to likely be quiet due to the bank holiday, but that yen trade, it's been weakening, even though we had comments from Bank of Japan Governor Kazuo Uedo, who said that the Bank of Japan could look to hike interest rates in July if the data dependent is what he said. Those comments are more recent than the minutes. The minutes, actually, if we just remember back to the meeting, it was a little bit of a disappointing meeting where the Bank of Japan weren't expected to hike interest rates, but were expected to perhaps exert some loosen yield control policy. But that didn't happen. So, we've seen that yen weaken a little bit further, pushed up to this 158 level. against the US dollar. So I think we might see a little bit of nerves above that level. It briefly spiked above there today. That's the sort of level of support resistance that we're testing. If we do get a break above 158, and the reason we're seeing jittery trades around there is because of the intervention previously. So there are some concerns that, above 158, maybe the Japanese authorities could intervene again. And if we do see a break above 158, then 160 is the next level on the upside. If we hear sort of hawkish remarks in those Bank of Japan minutes, then that could exert some pressure on USD, JPY. On the downside, support, as I said, 158. Below that, then we'd be looking out for 155.70, which is the 50 SMA, and the 155 level. So I hope you like what you've been watching. And if you do, then please do give this video a like. And if you would like to see more like this, then please do subscribe.